Welcome to HortTube, where we talk all things gardening. My name is Jim Putnam, and this is a Vintage Jade Distylium. This is Vintage Jade Distylium, an evergreen shrub with a lower spreading habit and red flowers in the late winter. Vintage Jade has a low spreading habit. It can end up reaching about 3 to 4 feet in height and probably 5 or 6 feet in width, but could easily be controlled smaller than that. Most of these new hybrid Distylium, they say they'll grow in zone 6 to 9, but from my understanding in zone 6A, anything below 0 is really going to hurt this plant pretty badly, so I would probably avoid that. It's probably 6B to 9. Once these Distylium are rooted in the ground for some period of time, they actually become moderately fast growing. You can probably get about 8 inches to a foot of growth, mostly in width, every season. In terms of sun or shade on these hybrid Distylium, everybody says part shade to full sun. I really think these things prefer part shade. I think that anything around a half a day sun, maybe slightly more than that, is kind of ideal. I wouldn't go a lot less than that because they tend to grow a little thinner in those cases. But this is not a plant that I've seen that responds really well to being out in a parking lot in its 15-hour day in June. There are a lot of uses for an evergreen, blooming, low-growing shrub that's kind of industrial like this one. Vintage Jade would definitely work well if you have windows that are around 4 feet in height. This would be an absolutely perfect foundation plant. It would work well on a corner. It has a really nice cascading habit in zones 7, 8, or 9. You could probably use it as a container plant, make a really nice container plant. And then it could be used, as a border plant and just allowed to get to its ultimum height. Probably, we say 3 to 4 feet, it probably would end up 5 or 6 feet over time. The main features of Vintage Jade Distylium are, number one, it has this beautiful dark green lustrous foliage. This is January when I'm shooting this, and it really is amazing, even in the winter months, how nice these are. They have red flowers in the late winter, and like I say, right now it's January, and you can see, I don't know if you'll be able to see on here, they are budded up right now, and they'll have little red witch hazel looking flowers or loropetalum looking flowers. They're kind of frilly little red flowers. I really don't grow these for the flower. They do flower a few weeks in the late winter, and it's nice, not discrediting it, but I really grow these because they're very industrial evergreen shrubs that have beautiful foliage, and they're super easy to maintain. I've included videos in the description below on planting in whatever type of soil you have. These are really kind of industrial, and I think you'd have a hard time really killing these. If you planted them poorly, though, they could end up growing poorly. So, don't plant them too deep and don't over mulch them. Distylium is very drought tolerant once it's established. The first year you'd probably want to keep an eye on it and water it if it needs to be, and saturate the entire area around it. Once these are established, they don't need a lot of ongoing watering. This plant is better than some other plants in sitting in wetter spaces, and it will probably be used a lot in places that stay wetter. Just we don't have a lot of options for evergreen shrubs in those spaces. So it will be used in those spaces, but that doesn't mean I'd go out and intentionally drown them. They'd probably be better off in a space that dried out between rains. The new growth on Emerald Jade is a very nice contrast to this lustrous dark green foliage, and you can get more of that by fertilizing them. So as soon as they finish blooming in the early spring, I would hit them with a slow release fertilizer. The other thing that you can do after they finish flowering is go ahead and give this thing a haircut, and you'll get more branching that way, which will offer more of that color contrast, and it will thicken it up, keep it full down at the bottom. Another benefit of Distylium is they're super insect and disease resistant. Just don't have really any issues with anything chewing on these, and that includes deer. They're basically deer proof. So what are you waiting for? Even you can grow the low maintenance, drought tolerant, red flowering Vintage Jade Distylium. Thank you for watching my video, and if it was helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for future videos. Also, comment below with any questions you have about Distylium. Thanks again.